everybody, it's Jack Moran from Jack Moran EV, also from the Hilton Head Island EV Club. I just wanted to make the first video to introduce to you guys a new vehicle that I actually recently picked up. It's my first EV. It's the Tesla Model 3 wheel-wheel drive. So I actually picked up the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. That's going to be hard for me to say. The rear-wheel drive version is probably the most practical for me right now, just because I don't need too much miles of range. I spend a lot of time on the island. Whenever I go off, I know I have access to superchargers and chargers at home. So long story short, I actually ended up purchasing a Hyundai Elantra back in December of 2022. And at the time, these cars were still floating around $48,000, $47,000 for the rear-wheel drive, even the base version of the rear-wheel drive. And it was just still a little too far out of my price range. So I eventually did some research. Once all the tax incentives came in, I know that they're pushing the new Tesla Model 3 Highland is coming out soon. So they were trying to get a lot of these cars off their lots. So once they threw a decent, I think it was $2,000 off the price tag for the car, and with where I was at currently with the trade-in value of my car, because of how high trade-in values there still are, I was ready to pull the trigger on a Model 3. Now this specific spec is the pearl white paint, which is the base model, free paint that comes with the vehicle. Even if you were to purchase one at the cheapest value, that's what you would get. I also got the aero wheels, the 18-inch aero wheels. But I did opt for the slightly upgraded white interior. So I did get the white leather seats. It's faux leather, it's vegan leather. Wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that. I knew that I would probably be Ubering with this car a lot, so it kind of made me nervous. But so far they've stood the test of time, and by the test of time I mean the last week and a half. So we'll see as time progresses. I've heard they're really, really easy to clean, and so I'm not super concerned about getting the stains out, if there's any stains that actually end up popping up. Now I will be making a pretty in-depth walkthrough of this car. I want to do a bunch of those on the channel. I want to do full in-depth features, things to check out about the car, things that I like personally, things that I don't like, just kind of what it's like to live with whatever EV that I'm reviewing. And so the Model 3 will obviously be my first video, but I wanted to kind of just save this video to introduce you to it and let you know that if you see me around the island, not that there aren't a million white with black aero wheel Teslas driving around the island. I just wanted to introduce you guys to the car. It is my first EV. I was kind of bummed back in December when I was having to settle for an ICE car. The Hyundai Elantra is a great car, don't get me wrong, but I just really enjoy EVs, and I knew that this was so close after the price cuts. I just really wanted the opportunity to own an EV. I know that the Model 3 was definitely going to be my next car. As soon as this one was up, I know there's the Model 2 rumors going around, the Highland refresh, all that good stuff, Cybertruck even. My dad's looking at the Cybertruck, so there's definitely more EV content and EV cars to come to the family and to the channel. But I just wanted to introduce you guys to this guy and let you know that I got him. The buying process for the Model 3 was really, really, really easy. It was all online. I did visit the dealership in Savannah just to get the full experience, but the people in Savannah were super, super nice. Spent plenty of time chatting with them on how it all works, how the trade-in value works, and going through all the steps on the app. And actually within 24 hours of me stepping foot into the showroom, that's when I actually ended up picking up my car. So it was relatively quick. And one thing I did want to mention was that the process for actually picking up the car was a little chaotic, albeit rushed and very quick on their end. The car, when I visited the dealership in Savannah, I was told that the car was on the lot. I got to sit in it. I loved it. I was like, this is great. What do I have to do? So we went to the steps. I ended up heading back home to finish up the steps at home. And then when I did the registration on the app, I think the registration on the app actually gave me a different VIN. And when it gave me a different VIN, it matched me to a car that wasn't the one that I had viewed on the lot. So there was a lot of confusion there. I was told that my delivery date was actually going to be a week later, which it was what it was. At that point, I wasn't complaining, but I was just curious as to why that one was coming up in their system as being unclaimed. And after they kind of walked through it with me, and they're like, "What's the VIN again?" I told them the VIN, and they were like, "No, that one's available if you want to come pick it up." And they're like, "It's really weird that it did that through the app, but that's what happens when you have a car company that's building them pretty much made to order. So when they make something and they have stuff coming in constantly, it's sometimes hard to keep track of inventory, but in the end, it all worked out for me. It is way too hot out here. I am struggling with the heat. I've only spent about a week in the car now, and if I had to give a 1-week recommendation, I would say absolutely go for it. I think it's a great car. I've had no range anxiety, granted, haven't spent too much time on road tripping, but from the little that I've done to Savannah and back a few times, it's been awesome, no problems whatsoever. But I'll give definitely give a more detailed review as I get through my ownership in the next couple of months or so. And another thing I wanted to list that came with this car specifically, I know it's not something they always are running, but it was a delivery deal where if I took delivery of a Tesla before the end of the month of June, I think June 30th was the cutoff time, that I actually got 3 months of free supercharging. So anywhere I supercharge, whether it's at the Parkers up by the airport or all the way down at the Harris Teeter near Sea Pines, I get free charging. So I pretty much get free gas for 3 months, which is really, really cool. As soon as I saw that, that was another incentive to go all in on the car. But one thing that actually doesn't come with the car that you'd be shocked is that the floor mats actually don't come with the car, not even all weather. They do sell all weather. They do sell carpeted floor mats on their website, but you actually had to order those separately. So I had to wait a couple days for those to come in. I think they were $95 for the carpeted mats. I'm not an all weather mats kind of guy. I'm a little more of a comfort than a performance, or I guess you could say capable or durable. I mean, it's a Model 3. If it was a Cybertruck, different story, but I love the mats so far. They're super grippy. They're a little bit of a pain in the butt to get in because they're so grippy. The second you hit the floor, you ain't moving them, you ain't shifting them. So, but they're great. Otherwise, I have had no problems. Super comfortable. And also another thing, I actually did get the mobile connector. That's something that Tesla doesn't do anymore as a given to the car. It was $230, I think, for the mobile connector. Which I kind of just factored into the price of the car at that point because it might as well just be factored into the price of the car. I'm not sure that those little price differences are really changing demand, but Elon and his guys probably know better than I do. So I did buy the mobile connector. It comes with an adapter for the heavier duty outlets as well as just a simple wall outlet that you would plug your iPhone charger into. So I'm looking forward to using those. I have to see if my community allows them. I think I had read that they don't specifically address them, but there is something to do with obstructions on the sidewalk, so the charging across, putting the charging cord across might be an issue, but we'll figure it out. They'll come around. I think the island's pretty forward-thinking in terms of green, so I'm glad to participate in that regard. And one last thing I wanted to talk about, when my brother and I had actually went to the dealership for the first time to inquire about the Model 3, we actually took the time to do a Model X test drive, which personally for me, you'll come to learn, is my dream car. I absolutely adore the Model X. I think it's so forward-thinking. I think it's quirky. I think it's more capable than a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but also has more storage and capacity than most SUVs that are on the market that are practical. So I really, really love that car, and just driving it for the test drive made me remind myself that, hey, this is what you're shooting for one day. So the Model 3 is a stepping stone. I love the Model 3, don't get me wrong, but I dream and I aspire to own a Model X one day for sure. So Tesla does this really cool thing as well. It's called a referral program, and they give you this thing that's called a loot box. If you use someone's referral link when you purchase your Tesla, or at least reserve your Tesla, the person that you reserve from and yourself will actually receive points to go towards free items. So there's free apparel, there's free supercharging miles, there's free cars if you get enough referral links. So it's a super cool program. I'm going to put my link to the vehicle in the description below so that you guys, if you're interested in purchasing your own, you guys use the link. It'll give me credit. It'll give you credit. We can both succeed together through the Tesla loyalty program. And so that is it for the video, guys. It's just a short one. I just wanted to kind of get the channel up and running and also introduce you to my new EV. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be buying this car or even being close to owning this car for another 6 years when I first bought my Elantra, but now that I'm sitting in it, it feels pretty surreal, and I'm super excited for the future. So keep your eye out for new content. I'll have new posts about everything. I'll definitely be filming some videos. I know that FSD has a subscription where you can pay $200 and get FSD for a month, so maybe I'll do that and just do a bunch of FSD videos for the month that I have it. Just enjoy it and see where it's coming along, and maybe I'll do them spaced out so you get to see the progression of FSD as the new updates come out. But yeah, very excited for the future of EVs. This island is in a great position to house owners, from vacationers to locals and their EVs, so very excited. Guys, please like, subscribe, visit the Facebook page, give some likes, comments, interact. We love to see it, and definitely spread the mission of greener roads. Thank you so much. See you guys.